So however it is that you're seated or lying down, make sure that you're comfortable. It can be a good thing to notice if your temperature is comfortable. If you feel like you might be cold, it can be a little bit calming on the nervous system when we're relaxing like this, and our body can get a bit cool at times. So if you need to get a shawl or a sweater or something, take the time right now to get yourself set up nicely so that you can be comfortable and warm enough. Bring your attention in from other times and other places so that you can focus on this moment in time and notice what's happening right now for you. We always have experiences in our body and our breath, our energy, our thoughts. There are multiple layers of how we experience ourselves in our life at the moment. And we'll go through all of them. And just in detail right now, look at your forehead. Notice what's happening in the muscles of your forehead, your eyebrows. When we are tense or worried about something, we'll often have a lot of activity in thoughts just behind the forehead, just behind the bone of the forehead in the brain. And all of those little muscles of the face and the forehead in particular can get quite tight at times. So lift your eyebrows up and down a couple of times and soften the muscles. And then take a step back and notice your whole experience as well. Take a couple of deeper breaths. Notice what parts of your chest and stomach area move when you do that. Notice as you're breathing out if you could relax your shoulders down, let your whole system settle. Part of the mindfulness focus is to not let our thoughts intrude on everything. As we're focusing on the body and our breath and energy, see if you can let your thoughts be very much in the background. So from the softness of your forehead and eyes, let the deep muscles of your eyes relax, the sense of sight turned inward. Notice that there's air flowing over the membranes of your nose. If the air in the room is cooler, then it will feel cooler as it comes through the mucous membranes of your nose down into the back of your throat to your neck. And then at some point it warms enough that you can't really feel that flow anymore. When the air is leaving the lungs, it's already kind of warm, so it takes a bit longer for us to notice that flow. As you're breathing out, see what is the earliest or the deepest part where you can actually notice that the flow of breath is happening in your nose or the back of your mouth. And notice if you could allow your breath to be even and smooth, continuous. It's very helpful for us to focus on that continuity and smoothness of the breath. It helps to stabilize our mind and relax our body. And be aware that you're observing or watching your body, breath, mind. Sensations are coming up and you're noticing them. And in particular, we're focusing on the physical body right now and the energy around the mouth now and the lips, the tongue. Notice the sensory perceptions of wetness in your mouth. Notice the hinges of your jaw. Oftentimes our jaw gets quite tight. So move your lower jaw back and forth. Then relax the whole area of your mouth and tongue, your vocal cords, the whole mechanism of speech. A little bit of attention as well on the forehead and the eyebrows, flow of breath in the nose. The mouth, the jaw, the vocal cords, and the neck. And bring your attention around to the sides of the neck and the shoulders, down into your arms. Notice your hands, fingers, fingertips. Coming back to the forehead and the eyes, the jaw, the neck, and now around to the back of the neck and the shoulders. As you breathe out, let your shoulders settle and relax. Bring your attention to the large muscles of the upper back. And notice if you need to have any activation at all in that part of your body, or if you could allow your neck and shoulders and back to be relaxed. It's a natural function of the body to let go and release on the exhale. As you're breathing out, let that whole back part of your body soften and settle. And take a moment to notice if there are any thoughts coming up about what you're doing right now. There might be thoughts about what you have to do later or something like that as well. As you're focusing on the back of your neck and your shoulders and your upper back, let that be your focus, and if there are any thoughts about that, notice those too. And notice how the breath moves a little bit in your back. You might be able to feel it in the lower rib cage around the back if you're breathing in deeply. Notice the sides of your rib cage, the front and the large muscles that cover your rib cage. And bring your attention out a little bit so that you're aware again of your whole experience, your body, your breath and energy, the thoughts that might be in your mind, and the fact that you're witnessing or observing your experience. Notice the thoughts for a moment, what's happening in your thought layer. If your thoughts are fairly quiet or if there is some energy to them, some attraction that you need to pay attention to them. And then let's go back to focusing on the body and the energy. So if thoughts are coming up about that, then we're paying a little more attention to those. If thoughts are coming up about something else, ask them to be a bit in the background for now. Right now, our focus is the body and the breath. Notice your forehead and eyes, mouth and the jaw. Notice what's going on in your throat. If there's any energy or sensation in your throat. And bring your attention down into your chest, to the large muscles of the chest area, but also to the rib cage and the area that's protected by your rib cage. Notice if there's any energy or sensation in that area. There will be a bit of a movement in the chest area. There might be quite a lot at the top or down towards the bottom. As we relax and breathe diaphragmatically, it tends to be more toward the lower ribs. The diaphragm muscle itself and the stomach area are very close. So we might be noticing in our peripheral vision that there's movement there. And then let your attention rest in the stomach area, the navel center, the lower belly. And notice that the movement of the breath can be felt here. There's a natural lengthening of muscles as you breathe in and a softening as you breathe out. Anchor your attention to your breath for a moment. Notice the movement in your stomach area. And allow your breath to be even and smooth and continuous. One way to do that is to really focus on the transition points in your breath. Just as you're finishing your inhalation and your exhalation, pay close attention and allow a smooth flow from one to the other. Let your mind focus on that. Let other thoughts be in the background. Noticing the physical qualities of the breath, how it feels in your body to move with the breath. And notice that you can also be aware of your whole body from head to toes, even though your focus is mostly on the stomach area. As soon as we bring our attention to that, it's right there. We can notice our whole body, including our arms and our legs, our feet and toes. And notice that one part of your mind is watching, is noticing what's happening. And sometimes we're really absorbed in what's going on. We might get into a train of thoughts about it even. And other times we're more aware of that witnessing or that perspective of noticing. These are all natural functions in the mind. And notice the space where this is all occurring. There's the space of our body, the space of our attention, of awareness, your being. There are sensations in your body and the movement of your breath, the energy in your body as well. And let's focus now on the thought layer, the thoughts that are in your mind. Rest there for a moment. Bring your attention to that space behind the forehead. Relax and soften the muscles of the forehead and the eyebrows. And then let that attention go and focus completely on the thoughts that are coming into your mind. And on the observing of those thoughts. Notice how thoughts come and go. Sometimes there might be a few seconds of silence as we're looking at thought. And then some words or maybe images will come in. See if you can maintain that observer focus where you're really watching as thoughts come and go. We're sitting quietly, relaxed and breathing. And it's silent for a moment, and then in comes a word or a phrase. And then it has whatever life it has. Sometimes it has a lot of a hook on it and we have a sensation in our body. There might be a whole stream of thoughts that gets activated by it. Sometimes a thought is kind of neutral, it just kind of floats in and then it floats on out. It's kind of a curious thing when we're watching thoughts. It can also be a bit self-conscious when we're sitting and resting and waiting for thoughts to show up so that we can observe them. We might be noticing our forehead, our jaw, the muscles, the breath. And then at some point we notice that we've been carried away a bit into a train of thought. We might notice that because there's a lot of activity in the mind, or maybe a sensation has come up in the body. As soon as you notice, and it will happen, that's the nature of the mind. As soon as you notice, bring your attention back. And as you rest for a moment without thought, really observe the process, or what it is exactly that happens when a thought shows up. All of a sudden it's just there. We don't plan it. We don't schedule it. We don't even have control over the content. It just shows up. When we're observing in this way, we can notice when thought comes in, and we can also notice what happens as it leaves. It just kind of settles and it's gone, and then there's this open space for a moment. Sometimes when we focus on our breath or on relaxing, then that helps us to settle in the thoughts. There's not so much activity going on there. In about a minute or so, we're going to complete the practice. Notice that those thoughts would have an impact as well. We can hear them. There might be other thoughts that are generated by that. What am I going to do when we're finished? What happens the rest of the day? If we've been noticing that there wasn't a lot of focus or resting happening now, hopefully we can apply some kindness and compassion for that. Our thoughts work like a system of stimulus and response. Our nervous systems are intimately involved with the whole process. Our past experiences, our memories. And these practices of relaxation and mindfulness are a way to get to know ourselves better. And to have a bit of a reprieve from the stress and action of our daily lives. Continue to be aware of your whole body and of your breath, of your thoughts, of the observation of all of that. And tune in as well to what it is that never changes, your sense of being. And when you're ready, open your eyes.